What if I told you that something as simple as drinking water, something we all do every single day, is actually putting your elderly loved one at risk? Not because they're drinking the wrong kind of water, not because of some exotic health scare, but because of how, when, and even why they're drinking it. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But here's the truth no one's really talking about. For people over 60, water isn't just about staying hydrated anymore. It's not just drink 8 glasses a day and you're good. No, for seniors, drinking water becomes something far more delicate, even dangerous, if it's not done right. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed your mom or dad say, "I'm not really thirsty today," and skip drinking anything for hours? Or maybe they suddenly chug a huge glass of water right before bed because they think it's healthy. Maybe they've even told you they avoid drinking water before going out, just to dodge the embarrassment of needing the bathroom too often. Now, at first glance, it doesn't seem like a big deal, right? They're just adjusting to their routine, being careful, doing what feels right for them. But here's the scary part. These tiny, everyday choices could slowly be making them sick. Not in an obvious, dramatic way, but in subtle changes. They're more tired than usual. Their thinking feels foggy. They're dizzy, weak, or just not themselves. And most families brush it off as normal aging. But what if it's not? What if the way they're drinking water, or not drinking it, is quietly stressing their heart, straining their kidneys, or interfering with their medication? What if it's one of the reasons they're not sleeping well, not healing properly, or losing balance more often? That's why this video matters. Because we're going to uncover the 4 most common and dangerous water drinking habits that seniors over 60 still do, often without realizing how risky they really are. And once you know what to look out for, you'll feel more confident in helping your loved one feel better, stay stronger, and avoid problems before they start. So stay with me, because you might recognize some of these habits in someone you love. And hey, have you or someone close to you ever made one of these water mistakes before? Go ahead and drop a comment below that says, "I'm here if you're ready to learn something that could truly change someone's daily health." And if you care about aging well for yourself or someone you love, be sure to subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity for more down-to-earth tips that really make a difference. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the first habit, one that's far more common than most people realize. Habit number 1, drinking too little water daily. Think of Mr. Johnson, 72 years old, sharp mind, kind smile. He wasn't what you'd call a water person. He'd sip a little here and there, maybe with a meal, but never much more than that. He'd say, "I'm not thirsty, I feel fine." It didn't raise red flags until months later he collapsed at home. The hospital ran tests, dehydration, severe, and nobody saw it coming. You see, as we age, something quiet but critical begins to change. Our sense of thirst, the very signal that tells us to drink, starts to fade. The body may be screaming for water on the inside, but the brain isn't getting the message. This is what makes dehydration in older adults so dangerous. It sneaks up. You don't see it until it's already caused problems. Fatigue, dizziness, memory lapses, even kidney strain and blood pressure spikes. And yet, most people think, if I'm not thirsty, I must not need water. That assumption, it can be deadly. So what can you do? Start small. Encourage your loved one to sip water throughout the day, not just when they feel thirsty. Leave a bottle in sight. Add a slice of lemon or cucumber to make it more appealing. Even herbal teas count. The goal isn't to drown them in liters. It's to keep a gentle, steady flow. Hydration as a habit, not a chore. But here's the twist. Drinking too little isn't the only danger. In fact, some seniors go the other way, and it's just as risky. Habit number 2, drinking large amounts all at once. Picture this. Grandma, 78, health conscious and trying her best. Before bed, she downs a full glass, sometimes 2, because she heard staying hydrated was good for the heart. But hours later, she's up again, and again, struggling to get to the bathroom in the dark, feeling groggy, off balance, even afraid she might fall. And she's not alone. When older adults chug water all at once, especially in large amounts, it puts unnecessary pressure on their bodies. The kidneys, already working slower with age, struggle to keep up. Excess water dilutes sodium levels, sometimes causing hyponatremia, a dangerous electrolyte imbalance that can lead to confusion, nausea, even seizures in extreme cases. And yet, this habit is often done with the best of intentions. I'm drinking more water. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Yes, but how you drink matters just as much as how much. So instead of large gulps, think small sips. Spread them throughout the day. Set timers. Pair water with activities, like a few sips during each commercial break, or after every bathroom trip. This way, the body absorbs it better. There's no overload, no stress, just balance. And speaking of balance, there's another habit that throws it off, especially when it comes to medication. Habit number 3, drinking water too close to medication. Now imagine Mrs. Patel, bright-eyed, organized, always following doctor's orders. Every morning she'd eat a full breakfast, pop her pills, and wash them down with a tall glass of water. She thought she was doing everything right, but slowly she started feeling bloated, sometimes nauseous. Other times her meds just didn't seem to work the way they used to. Here's why. Certain medications, especially common ones for blood pressure, thyroid, or bones, require specific timing. Some need an empty stomach to absorb properly. Others interact poorly with too much water at once. Too much liquid can actually dilute stomach acid, interfering with how the body breaks down the medication, or it can cause delayed absorption, making the meds less effective or too effective all at once. And this is something most people never think about. More water helps pills go down, right? Well, not always. So what's the safer approach? Check every prescription, read the label. Ask your pharmacist, can this be taken with food? With water? How much? A simple medication log can be life-changing. Caregivers can help build a schedule, spacing out water and meals around pill times. This habit might seem tiny, but it can mean the difference between a medication working with your loved one's body or against it. And finally, there's one habit that breaks my heart every time I see it, because it's based on fear, and it slowly chips away at well-being. Habit number 4, avoiding water to prevent bathroom trips. Let me tell you about Mr. Lin. He used to love his afternoon walks. A quiet park, a gentle breeze. It gave him peace. But lately, he started skipping water before going out. Why? Because he was afraid. Afraid he'd need the bathroom and wouldn't make it in time. Afraid of feeling embarrassed. Afraid someone might see. So he drank less, then less, until eventually he wasn't drinking at all during the day. And like clockwork, the problems started. Headaches, sluggish thinking, trouble concentrating, recurring UTIs. What Mr. Lin didn't realize is this: avoiding water doesn't fix bladder issues. It makes them worse. Without enough water, the urine becomes more concentrated, more irritating. It increases the risk of infection, bladder inflammation, and kidney strain. Even the heart has to work harder to pump thicker blood. And yet, when this habit is so common, especially in colder months or among those with mobility issues or incontinence worries. So what can you do? Start by talking. Let them know it's okay to have these concerns. Then offer real support. Maybe it's installing a grab bar in the bathroom, or using pads for peace of mind. Maybe it's shifting water intake earlier in the day so they stay hydrated without interrupting their night's sleep. It's not about forcing more water. It's about removing the fear that keeps them from drinking it. Because hydration isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. It's about safety, dignity, and confidence. So now that we've uncovered these 4 water habits, the ones hiding in plain sight, it's time to look at the bigger picture. Why does this really matter? Let's talk about it. Watching a loved one struggle with their health, especially over something as simple, as basic as water, it can break your heart. You see them slower than usual. You notice they're forgetting things. Or maybe they look tired, drained, just not quite themselves. And you wonder, what's happening? But often the answer isn't some complex diagnosis. Sometimes it's something quiet, something as ordinary as a glass of water that didn't get filled. But here's the beautiful part. These small things, they're within your reach. You don't need a medical degree to make a difference. You just need to notice, to care, to ask the right questions. Because the moment you start paying attention, everything changes. Instead of worrying about what's wrong, focus on what is right and what can be better. Hydration might seem simple, but for an older adult, it's a lifeline. And when you help them build better water habits, you're not just helping their body, you're giving them more energy, clearer thoughts, safer nights, more comfortable days. That's not just caregiving, that's love in action. So here's what I'd like you to do. Take a moment today, just a quiet moment, and observe. Watch how your loved one drinks water. Do they reach for it without thinking? Or is it out of sight, out of mind? Are they avoiding it before outings? Or gulping it all down in one go? Do they take their medication with food in a full glass without checking the label? Start there. Just by noticing, you're already making progress. Because it's not about being perfect. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about small steps taken with care. Little by little, those steps lead to longer, healthier, more peaceful years. You have that power, and that power starts with something as simple as water. Now let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. We covered 4 water habits that often go unnoticed, but can have a major impact on the health of someone over 60. 1. Drinking too little water daily, often due to reduced thirst, but it leads to silent dehydration and serious health risks. 2. Drinking large amounts all at once, especially before bed, which can disturb sleep and stress aging kidneys. 3. Drinking water too close to medication, which can interfere with how medications are absorbed, reducing their effectiveness or causing irritation. 4. Avoiding water to prevent bathroom trips, a common habit driven by fear, but one that leads to chronic dehydration and higher risks of UTIs, confusion, and fatigue. If you or someone you love is doing any of these, now is the time to gently step in, to offer support, to start the conversation. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. You just need to care enough to try. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Have you noticed any of them in your parents, your grandparents, or even yourself? Share your story in the comments. I read everyone, and your words might just help someone else out there feel seen, heard, and supported. And if this video helped you understand something important today, please give it a like. And consider subscribing to Wisdom of Longevity. We create practical, heartfelt videos every single week to help you care better, love deeper, and protect the health of those who matter most. Because at the end of the day, caring is not just about duty. It's an act of wisdom, an act of love, and it's the little things, like water, that carry the greatest impact. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.